Hello everyone, how are you today? In this video, I'll be taking you through the ChatGPT. Okay, so that's the latest AI app or website that is on board now. I'm sure you would notice a lot of videos on YouTube talking about ChatGPT. So the thing is, you can use the ChatGPT for a lot of things. So it does have a huge benefit depending on what you want to use it for. You can use it to run codes, you can use it for to boost your business, you can use it to generate ideas on what kind of video you want to create for your YouTube. It doesn't matter what um, content you're trying to make, you can use the ChatGPT. So I'm going to take you briefly through on the basics of ChatGPT, and then we'll look at how we can utilize it in trying to get titles for the kind of video we want to create in the area of Excel, and as well as use it to try to get formulas for our Excel calculations. You can go to Google and type in OpenAI. Okay, so when you do that, something like this will come out, and then click on that openai.com. So once it opens, this is the website for ChatGPT. Just head over to that point where you have introducing ChatGPT and click on it. Because I'm already registered with this particular platform, so this is the home page that it brings you into when you are registered. So if you haven't registered, it's going to take you through the process of registration. All right, so let me go straight into on how to use it. Good. So when you get into this point, for some people who like dark modes, okay, you may want to go through this aspect and change it to the dark mode. The dark mode seems to be okay. So this depends on your preference, actually. All right, so these are the things that ChatGPT can do for you. Okay, examples, you can put questions like this: explain quantum computing in simple terms. Now, it doesn't mean that it has to be computer related questions that you need to ask. You can ask any kind of question. So, but this is just an example of how you can phrase your questions. And this other one, okay, so this is another question, and here is another type of question you can ask. Okay, now the second column here is about the capabilities. This aspect is just simply trying to let us know the kind of things that ChatGPT can do. So it remembers what user said earlier in the conversation. Okay, so here it says allows users to provide follow-up corrections. So you can actually like build up on what it is you initially asked. Trained to decline inappropriate requests. Okay, so that's how it's been trained. Okay, now limitations of this particular ChatGPT is may occasionally generate incorrect information, may occasionally produce harmful instructions or based content, limited knowledge of world and events after 2021. So this is OpenAI Discord. Here you would just normally have access with other people around the globe, and then just communicate with them and probably ask some questions. All right, so update and log out if you want to log out. All right, so now let's go and see how we can use the ChatGPT to give us title. Like I just want to create video on Excel, and I don't know what title, or I don't know what kind of viral video I can produce. So I'm going to type in something to get an idea of what to do. All right, so if you can see here, I just typed what I have at this point. Give me 5 viral Excel titles for YouTube videos. Okay, so let's click on that and see what ChatGPT will produce for us. Good. So as you can see, these are titles that it has produced. All right. So the first one there is 10. So the first one here is 10 Excel tricks you didn't know you needed. Okay. Now, when you see a title like this, you're not sure what the content can be. Now, ChatGPT can produce a content for you. All right. It can produce. All right, when you see title like this, the good thing about this ChatGPT is that it can produce script for you. So you know the content or what kind of video you must produce. So how can we use this? Now I can go further to ask more further question here, which is explain. All right, so I wrote here explain option one. So he already knows what option one is, so I don't need to write all of this out. So I'm going to just go ahead and click on OK. Good. Now it's giving you an idea of what option one means. All right. So what does it say here? 10 Excel tricks you didn't know you needed is a title that suggests the video will cover a variety of lesser known but useful tips and tricks for working with Microsoft Excel. These could, all right, include things like keyboard shortcuts, advanced formatting options or functions that are not widely known but can save time and improve efficiency when working with spreadsheets. You see, now that makes a lot of sense. But with this, you still do not know what kind of shortcuts you want to add in your video. So you can further type in questions such as, so write me script for option one. Now I have an idea what that title implies. So let's get a script that can help us make this particular video. Now I have that, I'll click on the OK button. Let's see what we have. Okay, as you can see, it's generating a script for you, and it gives you an idea on how you can actually start in creating your video, which is really good. All right, so here is a host, and this is the things you need to say. Right, so let's just hold on and see until the script is properly written out. Right here it tells you how you can start off with your video, and then this is host. You say hello and welcome to our video on Excel tricks that you didn't know you needed. My name is, and then you put in your name or your channel name, and I'm an Excel expert. Today I will be showing you 10 hidden gems that will help you work faster and more efficiently in Excel. You see, it tells you exactly how to start. Okay, then transition to first trick. It goes, and now here is the first trick. Let's see what it says here. The flash fill function. Now you go ahead and explain what the flash fill function, and also demonstrate it. All right, demonstrate it practically so people would see how to use the flash fill function. All right. It's a great tool for separating data and formatting it to your needs. So I'm going to put a video up here. If you don't know how to use the flash fill, please click on the video that appears. So let's continue on to this. So there are quite a lot of tricks. This is trick 2. It explains that you read what is there, you learn it, you practice it, you make demonstration. So it goes on to the last trick. Okay, isn't this just awesome? Isn't ChatGPT just awesome? So it gives you title of video you can make and tells you what to do. All right, so if you don't like what is here, you can further regenerate the response. Okay, so let's see what we would get if regenerated. All right, so it's still writing. I'm just going to let it run. You can click on this point and say stop generating. So let's stop it and go through. So if you go through this, it has rewarded what it has written and giving you more in-depth idea. Okay, someone can say top Excel tricks you didn't know you needed. All right, so the information or content of this can be different from someone else's content. It all depends on what people think are the Excel tricks. Okay, the flash using flash fill here is a number 2. You remember the first script, it was in trick 1. This is a great tool that would actually help you create interesting video and tell you how to organize your stuff. All right, now that we have seen how we can use this particular tool to get video ideas, let's now jump into Excel and see how we can utilize it in making calculations in Excel. All right, so here is my Excel operating expenses for 2022. Good. So you can see here, we need to make calculations, all right, to get a total of the rent for quarter one up to quarter four for 2022. And normally we would need to put in a formula here. Now let's see how ChatGPT can help us create a formula. For instance, you're trying to figure out what formula you need to use. Let's go over to ChatGPT. I want to create a formula, so I have written out my question. Write an Excel formula to add up values in cells B4 through E4. I'll click on the enter. Can you see now it's giving us a formula? So let's copy this formula. If you don't like what is here, you can further ask questions, all right? You can say explain the function of formula, okay? So let's see what it explains there. Great. Now this is exactly what it is. So if you do not understand what the formula meant, you can just go through this and be sure this is exactly what you're trying to do. So because I know this is what I want, I'll just go ahead, copy the formula. Now go to my Excel and paste it. This is the total when this stuffs are being calculated. So it gave us the right function of formula. Great. So because we know how to run the autofill, I can just double click here and then run the autofill. To see if this 18,000 rands is correct from ChatGPT, I'm going to just clean off what we have there as the value and then manually type it in and see if the answer is correct. Okay, so that's the formula, and then I select the range of cells that I want to compute and then press enter key. Can you now see that it is correct? Good. So ChatGPT makes life easy, doesn't it? So I'm just going to double click. All right, I'll double click on that to get the formula copied down to that last cell. So I would expand the cell, auto fit on that section to expand the cell. Now that I've gotten the total for the cell ranges, now let's use the ChatGPT to get the average for quarter one through quarter four. Now you need to know the cell addresses. Now let's head over to ChatGPT. I no longer want this, so I can clear the conversation. Remember, what we want to do is write an Excel formula to get the average values in cells B4 through E4. Okay, so that's the question there. I'm going to click the enter key. Remember, we're checking for the average. Let's see what the formula will be. So this is the formula. Again, if you want to get what this means, you can further ahead and ask explain the function, okay, and press the enter key. So ChatGPT will help you unravel what that formula means. It's done explaining this function. Now, the good thing about ChatGPT is whatever you do not know, you can ask it a question and it will make you understand bit by bit or step by step of what those things mean. So again, I'm just going to copy that formula, head to my Excel and paste it. This is correct. I will run the autofill. Okay, so here we haven't calculated anything, so that's why it's giving us wrong value because there's nothing here to calculate. So I had to delete that aspect. Now if I check the average, right, you can manually check if this is also correct. Okay, so here is B, the cell address here is B9, all right, and here is stopped at quarter four and we have E9. So if I click on that section, that's B9 column E9. So this is correct. Let's try to complete this section and just see the values that we get. Okay, so I'll clear the conversation. So here I am to get the formula for the other last columns. It says here, I've typed in my question because of course you know exactly what you're looking for. So you should be able to phrase your question correctly. So here I have it as Write an Excel formula to get the maximum value in cells B4 through E4. Great. So this is right. I would just copy it. So let's get back to our Excel and then I will paste my formula. All right. So here is the last question for us to get the formula for our Excel exercise. And I've just written out a question here that says, write an Excel formula to find the minimum value in cells B4 through E4. Great. So this is actually correct. I'm not going to ask it to make an explanation. I'll just go to my Excel and paste it. Here I can run my autofill. Then here also run my autofill. Great. Now let's find out if these values, I'm just going to delete that. Let's find out if these values are really correct. So I wanted to find out the maximum for operating expenses in 2022. So between quarter one and quarter four, right? So they were all 4,500 rands. So these two are actually correct. So this is how you can actually check the integrity of what you have done if they are right. So tell me, does this make sense? Is this good? There are quite a lot of things you can do with ChatGPT. Drop me a comment and do not forget to subscribe. I will see you in my next video.